Let me ask you something. You have been planning your move to Australia for months, maybe even years. You have studied the points test, researched the visas, and told your family that Australia is the plan. And then you open your email one morning and see that the points cutoff has jumped again, or a new policy has dropped, and suddenly everything you thought you knew feels outdated. Sound familiar? Because if it does, you are in exactly the right place. And what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could completely change how you approach your Australia PR journey in 2026. Stay with me, because this one is important. Welcome back to Aussie Gateway, the channel where we break down everything you need to know about moving to Australia, getting your permanent residency, and building your life down under. I am so glad you are here today because this is honestly one of the most requested topics we have had all year. People are flooding our comments and DMs asking the same question over and over again. Is Australia PR getting easier in 2026, or is it becoming harder to crack? And honestly, the answer is not as simple as a yes or a no. The truth is more layered than that, and by the end of this video, you are going to have a real clear picture of where things stand, what has changed, what is working in your favor, and where the genuine challenges lie. Whether you are just starting your PR journey or you have already lodged an expression of interest, this video is going to give you exactly what you need to move forward with confidence. So let us get into it. Let us start with the big picture first. Australia's immigration system has been going through one of the most significant periods of reform in recent memory. The government has been responding to massive labor shortages across the country, a housing construction crisis that desperately needs skilled workers, and international pressure to keep Australia competitive as a destination for global talent. All of these factors together have created a very unique environment for PR applicants in 2026. And understanding that environment is the first step to making smart decisions about your own application. Now let us talk about skill select in the points tested stream because this is where most skilled migrants will find themselves. The subclass 189, the independent skilled visa, and the subclass 190, the state nominated visa, are still the two main pathways that people are gunning for. The points cutoff for the 189 has been a moving target, and in 2026 we are seeing invitation rounds becoming more strategic. What that means for you is that it is no longer just about hitting 65 points and waiting. The competition is real, and the people getting invited are often sitting on 80, 85, even 90 points in some occupations. That might sound intimidating, but here is what you also need to know. The Department of Home Affairs has been conducting more frequent invitation rounds, and the occupation ceilings have been revised upward for a number of in-demand roles. So if your occupation is on the right list and your point score is strong, the window of opportunity is genuinely wider than it was 2 or 3 years ago. Speaking of occupation lists, this is one of the areas where 2026 has brought some real movement. The Skills and Demand Visa, the subclass 482, was redesigned and it feeds into permanent residency through the temporary residence transition stream. And the core skills occupation list has expanded. We are seeing more engineering specializations, more healthcare roles, more tech occupations, and importantly, more trade-based occupations, making it onto lists that can lead directly to PR. If your occupation recently made it onto an updated list, that is genuinely good news, and it opens doors that were previously closed. So the first thing you need to do is check the current occupation list before you assume anything, because what was true 6 months ago might not be true today. Now let us talk about state nomination because the 190 visa stream has become incredibly strategic in 2026. States and territories are actively competing for skilled migrants to fill their local labor gaps, and some states are offering nomination to applicants with significantly lower point scores than what you would need for the independent stream. States like South Australia, Tasmania, and Western Australia have been running targeted nomination rounds for specific occupations, and they have been doing it fast. The processing times for state nominations in some of these states have come down considerably, and that is genuinely creating opportunities for people who might not have a shot at the 189 on points alone. The key here is research. Do not just apply to one state and hope for the best. Look at each state's occupation requirements, their minimum points thresholds, and their genuine lifestyle outcomes for you and your family. South Australia in particular has been extremely active in 2026 and worth a very close look for anyone who is open to settling outside of Sydney or Melbourne. Now, here's where we need to have an honest conversation because not everything in 2026 is good news. The government has been significantly tightening the integrity measures around skills assessments. The assessing bodies, whether that is Engineers Australia, VetAssess, ACS, or any of the others, are scrutinizing applications more carefully than ever before. Fraudulent qualifications, overstated work experience, and mismatched employment letters are being caught at higher rates. This is not a scare tactic. It is just the reality. If your application is clean and honest, you have nothing to worry about. But if you were thinking of pushing the boundaries anywhere in your documentation, 2026 is absolutely not the year to try that. The penalties are severe, including bans from applying again, and they are being enforced. English language requirements are another area that has become sharper. The benchmarks for certain visa streams have not changed dramatically, but the way they are being applied has become stricter. Make sure your IELTS or PTE scores are well above the minimum if you can manage it, because this is one of those areas where scraping through at the bare minimum can still cause delays or complications during processing. Let us also talk about the regional visa pathways because the subclass 491 and the subclass 494 are genuinely underrated options that a lot of people overlook. The 491 is a points-tested visa for regional Australia, and it gives you 5 points just for the regional nomination itself. After living and working in a regional area for 3 years, you can then apply for the 191, which is permanent residency. Now, regional does not mean the middle of nowhere. Regional under Australia's definition includes some really livable cities like Geelong, Wollongong, the Gold Coast, Cairns, and many others. If you are flexible on location, this pathway in 2026 is honestly one of the most accessible routes to PR, and it should not be dismissed just because the word regional sounds intimidating. One more thing that has shifted in 2026 is the processing times. The Department of Home Affairs made significant commitments to reducing backlogs, and they have been delivering on some of that. Subclass 189 processing has improved, though it still varies by occupation and individual circumstances. The 190 processing times differ state to state, and some states are genuinely faster than others. Employer-sponsored pathways like the 482, transitioning to PR, are also seeing more predictable timelines in 2026, which is good news if you have an employer willing to support your journey. The honest summary of 2026 is this: Australia PR has not become uniformly easier or uniformly harder. It has become more competitive in some streams, more accessible in others, more integrity-focused across the board, and more strategic in how states are using nomination powers. The people who are succeeding right now are not the ones with the highest point score alone. They are the ones who understand the system deeply, pick the right stream for their situation, lodge clean and complete applications, and stay updated as the landscape shifts. That combination is what gets results. So there you have it, a complete breakdown of the Australia PR pathway in 2026 and what it really looks like on the ground. My biggest advice to you right now is do not make decisions based on outdated information, do not trust everything you read in forums, and do not try to navigate this alone if you feel overwhelmed. Do your research, get proper guidance if you need it, and keep your documentation sharp and honest from day one. If this video helped you today, do me a favor and hit that like button, because it genuinely helps us reach more people who are on the same journey as you. Subscribe to Aussie Gateway if you have not already, because we drop new content every week covering everything from visa updates to life in Australia to settling and tips for new arrivals. And drop your biggest question about PR in the comments below. I personally read through them, and your question might just become the next video on this channel. Your Australian dream is still very much alive in 2026. You just need to know how to chase it the right way. We will see you in the next one.